objective also. Similar to picking a superior crypto, best time is also something that's very subjective. So what do I mean by that? Yung best time kasi it's a product of our time frame eh. So someone with a longer time frame will have an opinion of best that's actually different. Someone with a shorter time frame will have an opinion that's somehow also different kasi mas maikli yung time frame niya, and it's so interesting na dami-dami nag-aaway na they're talking about na ito yung best time to be able to buy. Sasabihin niya hindi yan yung best time, ito yung actually best time, whereas they're actually both correct. It's just that magkakaiba na talaga yung magkakaiba lang talaga yung references nila sa time. And I'll say this also, that never ever compare other people's time references when they are investing, because magkakaiba tayo eh. Like me, I'm 38 years old, I'm turning 39 also this year. That actually means that if I plan to invest up until 90, 95, or up until I'm alive, that actually means that I have 50 plus years of investing still in front of me. That means that I can go full throttle into all of this kasi hindi ko pa naman kailangan yung pera eh. That means I can take as much risk as possible versus someone, for example, na 60 years old, nasabi niya kailangan na niya yung pera ng 65 or kailangan na niya yung pera ng 62 or magre-retire na talaga siya, yung assets na yun yung inaasahan niya na doon niya kukunin lahat ng pera niya, then totally different proposition, yung totally different way of how it's analyzed. So that being said though, given my stock market background, what I've been using ever since, hindi naman ever since, pero, and hindi lang yun naman yung gamit ko, pero one of the most useful for me is a concept that's called technical analysis. And technical analysis basically is studying past prices, studying the past, studying behavior, studying patterns, and using that in order for you to be able to make decisions in the present. Please remember this though, that yung biggest misconception ng madaming tao is when they talk about technical analysis or when they use technical analysis, they use it as a forecasting tool. They use it as a tool to predict. In my opinion, there's no tool that can forecast or predict certain movements of stocks or even crypto, that it will go by this price at a certain moment, at a certain month, at a certain time. It doesn't happen. What technical analysis is basically is it's risk management. It helps you that if this investment is not going the way you want to go, then you better get out of it. You better sell, regardless if it's you taking profits or regardless if it's you selling at a loss also. In the same way, it also tells you that this might be the proper time to come in based on what the charts are telling you. So when I say it's analyzing things from past data, everything kasi nakaplot sa charts depending on what your time frame is. But what I want to share to you, and what has been also one of the most effective, or at least one of my favorite methodologies in doing this, is looking at it from a perspective of support and resistance. Meaning, I want to buy as close as I can to where the support is, and I want to sell as close as I can to where the resistance is as well. So in terms of logic, in terms of technique, in terms of paano kayo mag-memorize on how you're supposed to do it, or at least from a conceptual level, you buy as close as you can to the support, you buy as close as you can also to the resistance, and just do it over and over and over. So for this webinar, allow me to give, at least in the next few minutes that I have here, allow me to give you an example of how it's actually done. Okay, so what we have here is a chart of Ethereum. So as you can see here, nag-fluctuate yung Ethereum from 4,800, na yun yung pinakamataas niya, and then nag-fluctuate siya also pinakamababa niya somewhere around 2,400 na level. So what we need as a general idea is this: support is an area where there's more buyers that are there. How do you know that there's more buyers? One evidence that there's more buyers is that hindi na bumababa yung price doon. More buyers always bring the prices up, or more buyers also prevent prices also from going down as well. So, kailangan lang natin ma-identify sa chart na to, saan yung area na yun. So, nare-represent din siya for you to be able to know that kung nasan yung mga buyers na yun just by drawing a line. And for us to be able to draw a line, ganyan lang siya, you try to connect certain areas on where hindi na talaga siya bumaba. And as you can see right here, dun sa gitna ng chart natin, I know, very, very evident that, okay, tama, sa may gitna ng chart natin, hindi na talaga siya bumababa at a certain point, at ginawa niya ulit yun. So what does that mean? As a trader or as an investor, that could be a strategy already for you, that okay, pag hindi na siya bumababa sa area na yun, that could be a style na okay, every time na lalapit siya dun sa linya na yun, that would be a time for you to start to buy. So that this is a technique that you can use not just for crypto. This can work for stocks, not just for Ethereum. It can work for Bitcoin. It can work for every other cryptocurrency that's available as well. So again, please remember the principle. Don't remember this exact picture. But what I want you to get is kuha kayo ng chart, silipin nyo, tignan nyo, saan yung mga areas na hindi na siya bumababa. Pag hindi na siya bumababa doon sa particular area na yun, that actually means that there's buying. And if there's actually buying, that's where you can draw your entire support line. And ganun yung ginawa natin dito. So sinasabi natin, as close as you can to 2,400, that is an area of support. And it is an area of support. That's an area for you also that maybe you could start buying. So what this actually means also right now, based dito sa chart, kung titingnan nyo yung pinakadulo, kung nasan yung pinaka-last candlestick na pinapakita ko sa inyo, as you can see here, medyo malayo na siya. So what does that actually mean? It actually means that if meron kayong cash, gusto nyo bumili, it may not be the best time or the most ideal time to do so, because the best time for you to be able to do that is pag medyo malapit siya sa support. So please remember this. The best time, at least from a technical analysis, support and resistance level, sa pagbili is as close as you can to the support. Pag malayo siya, then it's relatively more risky. Pag malayo siya, then it may not be the best time for you to be able to do it. So dito sa chart na to, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, meron halos 4 opportunities na medyo matagal siya na nag-stay doon sa support area niyon. That would have been a very, very good time to start to buy. Based on this chart also, sinasabi niya, this may not be the best time for you to buy kasi medyo malayo na siya sa support. So ganun nyo lang siya pwedeng i-analyze. Super simple way for you to be able to do that. And I hope that after this, you start practicing it based on that. So step by step, labas nyo yung chart, hanap kayo ng areas kung saan hindi siya bumababa, draw a line there. If at the time na ina-analyze nyo yung stock nyo, hindi na siya bumababa doon, then hindi na siya bumababa doon, that's your support level. At kung yung stock na yun, sobrang lapit niya doon sa linya na yun, or yung crypto na yun, sobrang lapit niya doon sa linya yun, that could be an area for you to buy. Pero katulad dun sa example ko, yung pinaka-last portion niya, medyo malayo na siya doon hindi wala na siya doon sa support, then it's actually, the charts are actually telling you, maybe it's not the best time to buy right now. So yun lang. Lastly, I want to draw another line here. Ito yung kabaliktaran ng support, which is the resistance. Meaning, the closer you are to the resistance as a buyer, dapat hindi nyo binibili yung stock na yun kasi or hindi nyo binibili yung crypto na yun kasi dun yung point in time na sobrang daming sellers na. And if there's one thing about buyers and sellers, pag madami nagbibenta, more sellers bring the prices down. Pag madami nagbibenta, hirap siya na umakyat. And if you are the person that wants to time everything, then baka it might not be the best place for you to buy. So if you're looking at yung pinaka-last portion ng chart natin, there's a couple of things telling you not to buy anymore. Number 1, sobrang layo na niya sa support. Number 2, mas malapit na siya sa resistance. So in terms of analyzing this, meron akong cash, baka hindi ko muna siya bibilhin. I will exercise patience and I will try to wait for it until it goes down back to the 2,400 level. I'll exercise patience until it goes back to the next support. And if you notice it, anong underlying objective also, anong underlying thing na magbibigay sa inyo ng success dito sa cryptocurrencies, or even if you want to time it, it's also patience. It means that if it's not worth buying right now, if the charts are telling you not to buy right now, if the signals are not there, na hindi mo muna kailangan pumasok, then you shouldn't come in yet. That's what's amazing about technical analysis. That's what's amazing about crypto. You have a plan, you have a strategy. If it's not telling you to buy, then you don't have to transact it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to buy when it does not make sense to you. You only transact, you only buy when the charts are telling you to buy. So in this case, malayo sa support, avoid. In this case, malapit sa resistance, avoid. So that's one way for me on how I start analyzing things. I just use support and resistance. I use technical analysis. It's not a perfect system kasi there will be times also na pagtama niya support, it starts to go down. But that actually means also that it's time for you to sell. It's time for you to kahit loss or gain yun, you should actually get out of that particular position. So please remember this, technical analysis is not a perfect game. Technical analysis will still cause you to have some areas and positions that you will have to sell at a loss also, but it gives you a systemized approach on how you can time it. It gives you a systemized approach na hindi ka nang huhula kailan ka bibili at magbibenta. So there, I think that wraps up everything that I'm supposed to share into all of this. Picking superior cryptos, how I diversify my portfolio, how I also time the market. So I hope that this was something that gave value to all of you. But if there's one thing that I want to at least end this video on is actually this. Crypto, it's game-changing technology. Madaming tao hindi pa siya naintindihan kasi bago pa lang siya. Madaming tao hindi pa siya naintindihan kasi nagsisimula pa lang siya. And that's where, to all of you watching this, you're very early. You're very, very early. You're ahead of maybe 96%, 95% of the entire global population. But because we're all early, it's risky, it's volatile, there's a lot of also scams out there, there's a lot of mistakes that will also be made. And that's why my greatest suggestion to all of you is spend every waking moment of your life, or at least the prime years of your life, trying to learn about it. Hindi nyo muna kailangan mag-invest, hindi nyo muna kailangan maglagay ng pera, pero yung gusto kong isuggest sa inyo is pag-aralan nyo. Spend a lot of time. And I think this seminar, this webinar is a good step towards this also. But after this, research, Google, read books, watch videos, read blogs about it, make yourself educated. Because at the end of the day, what will make you do well in this is your ability to process information, is your ability also to learn. And like what I said earlier, natutunan ko lang din to over the past few years. This is a learned skill. This is a learned trait. This is something that I had to spend a lot of time to be able to learn more about it. This is something that I took a lot of time and effort because it's something that I believe is game-changing technology. And it's something that I believe is game-changing technology based on my research. So what does that mean? Please take the time to learn more about it. Please take the time. And after you've taken the time to research and learn about it, and you're thinking that parang mali yung sinabi ni Marvin, it's not really game-changing, it's not really the best. So at least alam nyo. At least you formed an opinion based on something that you studied, not something that you've heard someone say, but it's something based on what you tried. So there. I guess that's all I have to say. The whole narrative of this is I just want to give as much information and value to you so you make the right decisions. Whether you invest in crypto or not, I just hope that this is something that's holistic, this is something that's balanced, this is something that's information driven, that gave you a brief background on what it actually is. And it allowed me also to convey my entire conviction in this entire cryptocurrency space because I really believe it's the future. So with that, thank you so much, Chinkitan, for inviting me. It's always an honor. It's always a pleasure to be part of your seminar series, from the canned recorded stock market videos we did in 2019 to the stock market and crypto investment seminar that we did last year, and to this. Anytime you want me, I'll always be here. Anytime we have the chance to be able to encourage and teach people, I'll always be here for you. So thank you so much, everyone, and I hope that this video is something that gave you tremendous value, and God bless you all.